What is up, everybody? Today we're gonna talk about the top new Steam games released in July 2026. Cat Mail Company. Released on July 9, 2026, the game is priced at $15. It has a rating of 94% very positive reviews, with 2,002 reviews. The game peaked with 9,036 players, and the game is Steam Deck playable. A mysterious postmaster vanished on Cat's Island and left the post office in ruins. You're a cat. Fix it. Cat Mail Company drops you on a cat island to find a once beloved post office buried under mountains of undelivered parcels after the previous postmaster's mysterious disappearance. It's up to you to sort, stamp, label, and restore it to its former glory. The gameplay loop is deeply satisfying. Weigh parcels to determine the postage, apply destination labels, mark items as fragile or heavy, and decorate them with stamps and stickers, all at your own pace, with no timers or penalties. Pure organizational bliss. But here's the twist that sets it apart from every other cozy sim. At night, Moon reveals hidden truth about packages, a mystery mechanic that adds a genuinely surprising layer of intrigue to what looks like a relaxing, tidying game. It supports solo or up to 4-player co-op and surpassed 200,000 wishlists in a single month before launch, an extraordinary number for a debut indie studio. 95% positive across 2,000 Steam reviews. At $15, this is 2026 premier cozy game for cat people who also love organizing things. The demo is still free and your progress carries over. Start there. Bills Must Be Paid. Released on July 29, 2026, it sold for $10. Has a rating of 96% overwhelmingly positive, with 2,787 reviews. The game peaked at 8,143 players. It is Steam Deck verified. You are broke. Smash piggy banks, pay your bills, that's it, and you will not be able to stop. Bills Must Be Paid is an active incremental game where smashing costs stamina. When your hand gets tired, the run is over. Bills show up, and you ignore them. Bankruptcy is your destiny. Pay them off to unlock perks that help you smash faster and harder next run. The roguelike loop is genuinely clever. Piggies spawn random loot so you never know which one is holding the most, and a skill tree lets you improve your grip strength. Get addicted to caffeine, hit the gym, electrify your hammer, unlock rock rain, and more. Each run, you're building towards something, and each bankruptcy resets you with legacy upgrades that make the next attempt more chaotic and satisfying. Some piggy banks run away, some are too lazy to move, and others carry all the black money you never had. There's a genuine personality packed into this absurd premise. The numbers are ridiculous. For a $7 game with 96% positive reviews on Steam and over 100,000 copies sold in the first few days. A demo is free right now on both Steam and your browser. No install required. If you've got 5 minutes to kill, you'll accidentally spend 40. That's the whole joke and also the whole truth. Endacopia. Released on July 27, 2026, it sold for $17. It has a 98% overwhelmingly positive review, with 2,807 reviews. It peaked with 2,669 players. The game is Steam Deck playable, and a demo is available. Pajama Sam had a baby with Petscop, and that baby is deeply unsettling and you cannot look away. Endacopia is a point-and-click puzzle adventure visually reminiscent of early computer entertainment games with underlying horrors. Think the cheerful color palette and clunky charm of a 90s kid's CD-ROM, except something is fundamentally wrong with the world you're navigating. You play as a guardian angel for a lost and distractible child named Mello, guiding him through strange environments, solving puzzles, fighting weirdos in first person, collecting items, and talking to strangers, all while sensing that nothing here operates on rules you recognize. The tonal whiplash is the entire point. It's filled with lovable weirdos and strange scenarios and march to the beat of their own drum. Generally funny one moment, generally disturbing the next, and somehow both at the same time. There are multiple endings, hidden secrets, and a speedrunning community already forming around it, which tells you it has the kind of depth and replayability people want to tear apart. 98% positive on Steam across nearly 2,800 reviews. At just $16.50, Kickstarter funded by a solo developer out of Puerto Rico who's been building this world for years. The demo is free. Play it in the dark. DragonSword Awakening. Released on July 23, 2026, it is sold for $30. It has a 92% very positive review with 2,816 reviews. It peaked with 23,030 players. The game is Steam Deck playable. A gotcha game that looked in the mirror, didn't like what it saw, and became a real RPG instead. DragonSword Awakening was originally conceived as a mobile gotcha game, but the studio pivoted entirely, scrapping the model and rebuilding it as a one-time purchase title where a single buy unlocks all content. No stamina bars, no pulling banners, no FOMO, just a game. You play as Lute, a young boy traveling towards Orbis, the first kingdom built by humankind, who got swept up with Johnny the mercenary and Castella the elf, while a dragon reawakened after 60 years cast a shadow over an otherwise peaceful continent. Classic anime RPG setup, executed with genuine heart. The combat is the hook. Freely combine 19 distinct heroes in a tag team action, chaining status ailments and abilities across your party. Its satisfying mid-combat swap system that made games like Tales of and older Genshin feel electric, built in Unreal Engine 5. Content-wise, the main story runs 10 to 15 hours, with 30 to 40 hours including open-world content and side stories. 92% on Steam across nearly 2,800 reviews, with 450,000 wishlists before launch. It's not perfect, but for anime RPG fans who are exhausted by gacha, this is exactly the alternative they've been asking for. Shift at Midnight. Released on July 22, 2026, it is sold for $10. It has a 94% very positive review with 3,517 reviews. It peaked with 37,590 players. The game is Steam Deck playable. You work a gas station at midnight. Some of your customers are doppelgangers wearing human faces. Miss one and it comes back to kill you. Shift at Midnight takes job simulator games and turns the horror up to nightmare mode. You start with a sick pet needing medication money, which leads to a seemingly mundane gas station night job, which coincides with doppelganger outbreaks in your town. The stakes are personal before the monsters even show up. The detection system is what makes it genuinely tense. Spotting a doppelganger isn't a guessing game. You examine IDs, cross-check details on the in-store computer, and watch customer behavior for tells, all while stocking shelves, taking deliveries, and hitting your sales quota. You're juggling a real job while running a paranoid investigation. As a doppelganger, and it returns later that shift as a horrible monster, forcing you to barricade doors, set traps, and hide. The game mode switches from detective sim to survival horror mid-shift, and that tonal gear change is terrifying. 13 randomly generated shifts in story mode, proximity chat for maximum panic with friends, and a free endless mode update dropping Q4 2026. It's $10. It's on Game Pass. One reviewer called it their favorite horror game of 2026. Grab two friends and do not let the wrong customer walk out that door. Quasimorph. Released on July 31, 2026. It is sold for $25. It has an 83% very positive review with 3,865 reviews. It peaked with 6,227 players. The game is Steam Deck verified. Tarkov's soul transplanted into a turn-based cyberpunk RPG. Space capitalism accidentally summoned demons, York leading it up. Space has been privatized, corporations strip mining the outer solar system, and something ancient and genuinely horrifying has woken up as a result. You run a private military company, taking contracts from every corporation responsible for the catastrophe. And somewhere out in the dark, humanity did something unforgivable, and demons are literally twisting human evolution. The extraction mechanic is what gives it teeth. If you die, you lose everything you brought on the mission. If you survive, you keep everything you looted. No exceptions, no excuses, no mercy. Every loadout decision carries real weight. Here's the genius angle though. For players alienated from the extraction games by the Twitch reflex skill floor of Tarkov-style titles, Quasimorph represents the clearest answer. The genre emotionally experience is accessible without high mechanical skill ceiling. You have a full turn to think. The dread is identical, the panic is identical, the reward is identical. 1.0 brings 5 complete campaign storylines, 9 endings, and 29 new firearms. 3 years of early access, refinement, all landing at once.
Ready for another task?
Waterpark Simulator. Released on July 31, 2026, it's sold for $13. It has a 96% very positive review, with 8,602 reviews. It peaked with 13,126 players. The game is Steam Deck playable, and a demo is available. Planet Coaster, but make it water slides and ragdoll physics. It rules. Waterpark Simulator is a first-person management simulator where you build and run your own water park solo or with friends. Designing slides, sending guests flying with ragdoll physics, managing staff, and fully customizing your park from total madness into a diamond 5-star empire. The first-person perspective is what sets it apart from every other tycoon game. You're not a God view manager clicking menus. You're physically walking your park, cooking hot dogs at the food stand, grabbing a hammer to fix broken attractions, and watch your lovingly crafted slide send a visitor absolutely yeeting into the pool. Ragdoll physics turn every moment to a potential comedy highlight. The management depth is real tough. Everything affects your rating. How clean the park is, how fun the slides are, the quality of your food and amenities. And happier guests stay longer, spend more, and come back. It's a proper sim wrapped in a comedy skin. Mascots improve visitor happiness, guests browse concession areas naturally, and there's multiplayer co-op so you can mismanage a water park with a friend. 96% positive across 8,500 Steam reviews. For a game about building water parks with ragdoll physics that's somehow also a genuinely deep management sim, that number makes complete sense. Ground Branch. Released on July 16, 2026, it's sold for $30. It has an 85% very positive review. With 14,915 reviews, it peaked with 1,817 players. The game is Steam Deck playable. The original Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon developers set out to make their magnum opus, and it just finally launched. Ground Branch is a tactical realism FPS where you play as an elite paramilitary arm of the CIA's Special Activities Center, leading special operations forces through deniable ops across the globe, with deliberate, calculated, and unforgiving gameplay aimed at being the true rebirth of tactical realism genre on the late 90s and early 2000s. Version 1.0 is the biggest update in the game's history. A substantial enemy AI reworked, a new armor system, a door-breaching overhaul, two brand new maps, two ground-up remakes, new character locomotion, new weapons and gear, and returning operations campaign with a brand new Northwest Pakistan prologue. And this is the anti-Call of Duty. No respawns, no hand-holding, no arcade nonsense. Every room you clear, every door you breach, every shot you take is deliberate. Solo or co-op. Here's the honest caveats though. Recent Steam reviews dipped the mix right around launch, with some players flagging post 1.0 balance and stability issues the team is actively patching, although all-time reviews remain very positive. At $30, if tactical shooters are your genre, this is one the purists have been waiting for a decade for. Scrap Mechanic. Released on July 24, 2026, it sold for $29. It has a rating of 90% very positive review with 47,532 reviews. The game peaked with a whopping 37,801 players. The game is Steam Deck playable. Minecraft, if the crafting table was a physics engine and you could build a fully automated factory truck that also fights robots. Scrap Mechanic is a sandbox survival game where you build vehicles, machines, and automated systems to survive on a hostile farming planet. Every solution you engineer is uniquely yours because the game hands you parts and physics and says figure it out. The magic is in the creative freedom. One person builds a simple survival truck, another creates an automated factory, and someone else spends 20 hours making a ridiculous flying machine that barely works. No two playthroughs look alike. 1.0 is genuinely massive. Not just a status update. It brings a full story with voice-acted NPCs, a reworked world, a brand new underground layer to explore and mine, new enemies, a boss fight, new building parts, fire physics, and improved performance for large-scale creations. The Drilling Thunder expansion, a complete second story chapter, is included free for every existing owner. 91% positive across 117,000 Steam reviews. Built over a decade of passionate community building. That's not hype. That's earned trust. For builders, engineers, and chaos merchants, this is the sandbox.
The Drilling Thunder!
Palworld. Released on July 10, 2026, sold for $30, it has a rating of 95% very positive reviews, with 166,478 reviews. The game peaked with a whopping 961,867 players. The game is Steam Deck verified. Everyone who wrote Palworld off as a meme owes Pocket Bear an apology, because what launched as a viral joke about Pokemon with guns has become 2.5 years later one of the most complete and genuinely addictive survival games ever made. The system stacked into a single natural adventure. You start naked in a hostile world, punch a tree, catch a few pals, and set them to work automating your base while you go out and fight. The pals you assign chop wood, mine ore, plant crops, and ferry materials. And the more sophisticated your base gets, the more you time spend doing the actual fun stuff. And 1.0 is not a token version bump. 72 new pals, bringing the roster to 287, the level cap raised to 80, brand new regions in Sunreach and the World Tree, floating islands with exclusive content, reworked tower bosses with region-themed arenas, and new mutations and awakening breeding mechanics that give late-game players a fresh progression ceiling. The quality of life alone is transformative. The new Wing Pack lets your character glide while keeping a full 5-pal combat theme, a change that sounds minor and turns out to be completely game-changing. The capture bonus now completes at 5 catches per species instead of 12, so early game friction that used to slow new players down is basically gone. The game launched simultaneously on PS5, Xbox X, and day one on Game Pass, and Pocket Bear didn't raise the price. 40 million players around and counting. This is the moment to jump in. Here are some honorable mentions. And there you have it, the top new Steam games released in past month. What games have you tried? Please let me know in the comment section. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, it really helps me out. Once again, I am Mazer and I'll see you again on my next video.